Okay. So this is kind of a cop-out. I'm going to say the future of 3D on the web is manyfold. I think there will be a lot of like smaller elements that are, for layering or compositing in web pages, for visual impact, or for GUI, to kind of richer web media for illustrative or communication purposes, to fully 100% 3D websites where, like today, you'll go to some Flash sites, and as soon as the page loads, you're in a Flash movie. I think there'll probably be websites where when the page loads, you're in a visual simulation, doing something related to work, commerce, play. Lively, attempts to be, is our step into the future, trying to be a facet that's kind of in the middle, an element for web design. That our main objective with it is to give users something that they can, and web designers, something that they can use to make web pages more fun and more social, and give them more degrees of freedom for expressing themselves. And obviously avatars and virtual stuff offer a lot of opportunities for social, adding zest to social interactions and expressing yourself, but it doesn't necessarily have to be 3D. And here's a movie from 1943 made by a couple of social psychologists, and their thing was is very simple geometric cues can stimulate rich social perceptions. So, but we want to give people a richer palette for expression. So we like the possibility of virtual worlds and avatars and clothing. And so Lively is launched, and we're starting to see what users do with it, and we expect to be surprised by what users do with it. So I'll give you a quick glimpse of Lively here. So there's a lot of rooms that feature music, and there's a fair amount of virtual dancing going on, and dancing is pretty interesting. It adds, really spices up chat, raises the amiability of interactions, and can deepen the sense of intimacy in an interaction. Some rooms are featuring visual creations, and while I'm not sure a 3D gallery is the best way to present images, it's an interesting way to mash things up, mash up images, localized music, and topic-oriented chat. And this room promotes itself as a gay bar. I go there just sometimes because I see that it's busy, and it feels more like a cooler version of Cheers to me. And the host of this room is a great host. He, when he's not there, the Jumbotron describes the scene and lists the peak hours. And that listing of the hours kind of focuses activities where a lot of other places that are promoting themselves as bars can be dead at night, whereas Leo's is always hopping. Some users are stacking furniture and lamps and other odds and ends to make sculptures. I mean, we don't have content creation tools for the general public yet, but they're figuring out ways to use furniture to do sculpting and artifact creation. And it's making us think maybe we should provide virtual lumber and other building blocks. Something that totally surprised us are these users that will stack hundreds and thousands of pieces of furniture to create paths and subspaces that go beyond the original geometry of the room shell. And in this one, he's playing a Talking Heads video, Road to Nowhere, that kind of makes it into an interactive music video. And there's some other ones that are complex works of art that are really amazing and too hard to show in a couple dozen seconds. So I won't try and do that here. And then, of course, some users are doing machinima, as you might expect. There's a lot of other earlier products of this sort. So, there's a lot of ways that users can generate content. And, there's music videos, and then, of course, there's storytelling, for like cartoons or the more typical kind of films. So I'll just show a little bit of a...
I woke up early that morning. I knew what I had to do. And that was, I had to flee. Everything was on fire. Everything was burning.
Okay, so that's enough of that. So anyway, and if you give them more tools, I imagine, there'll be more surprises. So, you know, the users are manifold also. There's some users that'll create the base content, the models, the textures, the animations. There's other users that'll leverage that content to make rooms, scenes, scenarios. And then there's some people that'll just visit to enjoy it. And they'll add value too, because they'll interact, they'll create a vibe, they'll, you know, contribute to the scene. And Bradley Horowitz has a pretty well-read post, blog post, where he has this pyramid of the different kinds of social media users. There's the creators and the synthesizers and the consumers, and his hypothetical ratio is 1 creator to 10 synthesizers to 100 consumers. I think the actual distribution, you know, depends upon the medium, depends upon the tools. But Lively would like to make all those people happy. And I think we're going to try and provide good pipelines for the creators, because I think the content creation tools we have today, Max, Maya, et cetera, they're probably as creative and productive as they could be at this moment. I mean, they're going to evolve, but you know, they're trying really hard to be very good at what they do. And as they get better, I don't expect that they're going to get simpler to use. Hopefully there'll be some breakthroughs that let, you know, mere mortals start to do modeling and animation, but you know, that's a tricky issue. Yet the synthesizers, the people in Lively that are building rooms, are able to be quite productive without having a lot of technical expertise. So we would like to provide more tools for those sorts of people. So, you know, I mean, they're the ones that in a place like Lively are creating, you know, the good stuff. And then as far as the consumers go, you know, they're a tricky bunch to serve. For the last 100 years, there's been new mediums coming out, and each new medium steals time from the old medium, but usually the old mediums, you know, persist to some degree. And we're, you know, more and more of our time is taken up using media. We're running out of time. And if you look at the younger users, they've gone into this new phase of radical multitasking, where they're web surfing, multiple IM threads going at once, texting and chatting on their phone, all while doing homework. So I think, you know, immersion is a tricky thing. With Lively, we're going to try to not depend too much on immersion, so that these people that are multitasking can shift gears very easy. And hopefully there'll be some breakthroughs that allow consumers to become synthesizers or creators. It would be fantastic if video, you know, simple cameras could be used to capture models, you know, using computer vision techniques. But, you know, stuff like that exists, but it's going to take a while before it's as simple as digital cameras and photo websites are that have led to this explosion of photo creation. And even, you know, given our interest and expectation that animation is a very important part of expressing yourself, it would be fantastic if similar tools, camera tools, could be used so people could create their own motions, you know, build up their vocabulary of body language. So that's my wrap.